Kwa nini mimi iko porini naumia? Si ndio kila mtu mmetaja sehemu nimefanya kazi? Yes sir. Si nimeita majina ya kila sehemu nimefanya kazi? Yes sir. Sasa mimi niliingia jeshi tarehe 2 ya mwezi ya 12 1986. Nilikuwa bado na miaka 16. Sasa nimefanya miaka ngapi? From the 2nd of December 1986. Nimefanya miaka ngapi? 36 years. Miaka 30 ngapi? 6. Lakini si mnaona namna mimi nafanana? Ndio. Hii pesa sio ya gava, ni ya watu gani? Ya sila ya kwanza, amesialiomba advance. Nimeapa yeye mtoto 30, nimebaki ngapi? Hiyo maana yake sila moja imefanya nini?
My name is Maj Gen Dick Olum. I'm the UPDF Mountain Division Commander based in Fort Portal in Muhoti. I am also a Joint Operation Commander for Operation Shujaa, which is a joint UPDF operation between the Congolese military called the FARDC and the UPDF. You all very well understand that Operation Shujaa began on the 31st of November in 2021, and eventually this operation has been very successful. And you all understand that the person I succeeded, and that is none other than Lieutenant General Kayanja, who is now the commander of the UPDF Land Forces, undertook onto these operations jointly with the FARDC, and since then the UPDF has achieved a lot. We have destroyed a lot of the ADF capacity to make war, ADF capacity to destroy, and ADF capacity to abduct. We have really annihilated them. We have followed them from the areas of Tokomeka, the areas in Ituri, areas of Chabi, Boga, Zunguluka. We also had the first encounters with them in those areas of Maimoto, in those areas of where the first operations began. Today, as we speak, the UPDF and the FARDC in the joint operation are in the 3rd phase of the operation. And within the 3rd phase operation, that moved us to the 3rd sector of the deployment of the joint forces. And this 3rd sector is none other than Mwalika Valley. Mwalika Valley is in the North Kivu, south of Beni, southeast, and it is that area that comes to border with Uganda. For a long time, the ADF had taken this area as a playground for them. The general areas from Eringeti to Ndalia, to Mambelenga, to Otomaber, to Ndimo, Ndimo to Ido, Ido to Manzobe, Manzobe up to Commander. That has been a playground for the ADF. Why? 1, because they had a lot of food. 2, because there was no follow-up, serious follow-up. But thank God now the joint forces have come around. It's time for us to open up Sector 4. It's time for us to go into the 4th sector and to ensure we follow up these guys who have caused a lot of atrocities, a lot of suffering to people who have been deserting all their homesteads. Good afternoon. My name is Maj Gen Dick Olum, the UPDF Mountain Division Commander based in Fort Portal, and also the Commander for Operation Shujaa in the Eastern DRC. Today we have come to the Mwalika Valley, and as you know, Mwalika Valley is west of Butembo and southwest of Beni, in the general areas of Karuruma, Karuhamba, and these other areas. But as we are today, we are at the crossing point of the ferry that's on River Semuliki, and this is the only point where the forces of Operation Shujaa, the joint forces, use this ferry to cross into the Mwalika Valley. It was very unfortunate 3 weeks ago that the ADF came to this very point at the crossing point for the ferry and burnt the only local made ferry, and of course that was a huge challenge to us, and that ferry got totally decimated and it sank. It meant a lot of challenges of transporting logistics to our troops across, a lot of challenges of transporting our troops themselves and logistics and any other administrative requirements. It also posed a huge challenge to the population who would travel from Beni to Butembo, and Butembo to Karuruma, Karuruma to this point, and eventually to Kasindi. As you may know, the situation, the environment in Congo is so challenging. Just like you see around, it's a lot of thickets, a lot of bushes. So it's quite a hard place to protect. So when this activity actually happened where the ADF burnt the ferry, we immediately deployed the 1st Battalion of the 301 Brigade in this sector. And within this area, we put the 1st Battalion to come and give protection for future transactions of the ferry that is being rehabilitated. So as you see, this place is being cleaned, is being cleared, so that much of the thickets is put down. We are not going to put the whole forest down, no. We are putting some strategic clearance which can give visibility to the soldiers who will be protecting this landing zone or landing site, so that in case of any future attacks, they can see where these criminals or this enemy come from. As you may see, the ferry itself is being constructed, but I have already contacted the leadership, especially my direct boss, Lieutenant General Kayanja Muhanga, who has promised to give me a ferry, and he has confirmed that the Ministry of Works, in conjunction with UNRWA, have accepted to give us one ferry. So we are so sure that soon, in the next 2 weeks, we should be having a ferry. I'm also happy to mention that by tomorrow, here in this crossing point at Kasindi ferry here, ferry port, we shall receive members and specialists, technicians of the Ministry of Works and UNRWA, who will be visiting this point where they will launch this ferry that will sort out our communications here. So at the moment, it is so far so good. 1st Battalion has occupied this area. We can still use the small ferry which only transports very light cars, light pickups, no trucks, and foodstuffs which we offload, then put on the ferry, then it's taken the other side. So far so good.
Then you held a meeting with some civilians in this very point. What did you discuss about?
There was quite